this legacy. You gon' see what's left of me. You gon' see success in me. You ain't seen the rest of me. I just wanna be the best at what I know. Better than the rest, just watch me grow. Put me to the test and watch me go. This is my quest, I'ma make it known. They call me obsessive, oh I know. Call me selective with my notes. Call me aggressive with my flow. Call me offensive even though Joe, I ain't gonna lie, life's tough. Try to get by, life's rough. Try to do it right, it's not enough. Even though you try, you still mess up. But I'm still gonna fight for what I love. Still gonna die for what I love. Still gonna try, I won't give up. Still gonna fight until I won.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to part 4 of what if Deku was a true alpha werewolf. Anyway, last time we left off on a nice note. Todoroki questioned Deku about his quirk. And Deku does explain to him that it's werewolf. And Deku buys that for now. Anyway, also, last time Deku went up against Aizawa in an argument, it was about spilling Mineta. And Deku actually won the argument. And he became Aizawa's favourite student. Anyway, let's go back. As Deku leaves school, he sees Scott and everyone. All the other pack members. He runs up and hugs Scott and the others. Bakugo comes up behind him with an explosion and says, "Okay, that's it, Deku. Tell me who these guys are." Scott looks at Bakugo and growls a little, and Bakugo notices Scott's eyes are the same as Deku's. And Bakugo's like, wait. You have the same quirk as Deku. And Scott looks confused. Quirk? And Midoriya looks at Scott and whispers under his breath so Bakugo can't hear, but Scott cancels the superhero and he says, "I haven't told anyone that werewolf isn't a quirk. Just say that our quirk is similar, but my one's more powerful." And Scott says, "Oh no. I don't really know who you are, but yes, me and Deku's quirk are similar, but his quirk is far more powerful." And Bakugo says, "Oh, so basically Deku's your boss." And Scott laughs at how accurate this is. And Scott says, "Well, let me explain it like this. In books, there's omegas, betas, and alphas, correct?" And Bakugo says, "Yeah." Well, and Scott says, "Well, I'm an alpha. My quirk's alpha werewolf. These guys behind me are beta werewolves." And Bakugo says, "Wait, so you are in charge?" And Bakugo and Scott laughs and says, "No, let me finish." And Deku's over there's quirk is true alpha werewolf, meaning he's above me. And Bakugo says, "Oh, so Deku over there's in charge, huh?" And Scott says, "Yeah. And we're all one pack, so we work together and all that." That's how he's there in the entrance test, because Deku roared and that's how he signals to us. And we came and helped him. And Bakugo says, "Oh, so you have an entire army, Deku. How did you get them?" And Deku just decides to tell Bakugo part of it. He says, "Well, I figured out that my quirk, when I bite someone, they get a quirk, they can get the Omega or Beta quirk, werewolf quirk, on top of their original quirk." And Bakugo looks at him smiling and says, "And you haven't bit me yet? Come on, Deku, come on." And he says, no, Kachan, there's a risk in it. There's a chance that you could die. So I'm only going to go for people who prove themselves to me, or if they're nearly dead." And Bakugo says, "Wait, I haven't proved myself to you." And Deku says, No, Kachan. It's just that I don't want to risk you getting killed. And also, I don't think you would really work as a werewolf." And he says, "Why?" Deku says it enhances our hearing a lot. And your explosions would probably make your eardrums go bust. And Bakugo says, "Oh, I guess that's true." And he walks off and says, "Anyway, Deku, we need to train." Then Deku stutters a minute and says, "Training with these guys." Bakugo looks and has an explosion in his hand and says, "What? We've had a routine for the past 4 years. We train. Now you want to ditch me?" A bigger explosion appears. Scott's getting annoyed at how stuck up Bakugo is. And then Deku calms him down again and says, "No, Bakugo. Their quirk's similar to mine. Why don't you come train with us? It will make you a lot stronger as well. Just that now I'm controlling my quirk a lot better instead of just getting physically stronger." I've even got two new transformations. And even Scott didn't know this, and he looks at him like, what? And Deku whispers on his breath again, says, I'll show you when we start training, just say, oh yeah. And Scott's like, oh yeah, you told me about that, I haven't really seen them yet. And Bakugo says, transformations? I guess that training is beneficial for your quirk. I guess I'll join. And they all walk off. And then, when they get there, Deku shows off his two transformations, and Scott says under his breath, so you're learning your power, huh? That's good. Our pack will never fall. We'll protect those who need protecting. And Deku looks at Bakugo and says, you don't need to be a werewolf to be in my pack. Just need to say an oath. And Bakugo says, what? Deku says, it's like being in the pack without being a werewolf. It means that you'll join our pack, you'll be one of us, just not being a werewolf. And Bakugo says, what does that do for me? He says, it means that if you're ever in a scram, we'll all help you. And also it means I'm your boss. Bakugo says, oh, hell no! And Deku says, you know me, I won't ever boss you around unless I need to. And Bakugo thinks about it and says, and what else? Then Deku says, you can come on our secret adventures, Car-chan. Bakugo says, wait. Deku, you go on secret adventures without me? And Deku says, yeah, that's why they're secret. Only my pack can go on them. And Bakugo says, deal, what's the oath? Hey, some of you Netflix fans who've watched Order, here you go. Deku says it. I give my life to the cause. And Bakugo says it, and then he gets a weird feeling inside. And then he realises that oath created a weird bond with all the other werewolves. It was a magic thing that Deku knew because he had a vision of it. I'll explain them visions later. Anyway, next day they get into their combat training. And here's the groups. Unlike original, it's Ochako and Bakugo on the villain team. Ryuraka and Bakugo on the villain team. Todoroki and Deku on the hero team. And just switch out the rest. Because why not? Just put Lydia on the team that Todoroki stole. Put Lydia on the Invisible Girl team. Anyway, it begins. Todoroki says to him, I'm gonna figure out why you're so strong and show you why I'm stronger. Deku laughs a bit. And they begin. Deku and Todoroki running, and Todoroki says, damn it, I wish I could freeze the ground, then I can move faster. And Deku flicks off his shoes and says, go ahead, look at my toes. And Todoroki sees claws, and Deku shows with his fingers. He says, I have enough grip. And then Todoroki freezes the ground. Deku starts running on all fours, not transforming into a wolf, but the same as what Scott does and Derek does. It helps them move faster. So he was actually faster than the original. Todoroki's impressed, and so is everyone else watching. And Todoroki's like, we make the perfect team. I can move fast and nice, and he can move even faster. And then when Bakugo sees them, he laughs a bit at Deku, and then he sees that it's actually terrifying how fast he is. And when he attempts to launch an explosion at Deku just quickly jumps on the roof, runs on the roof, digging his claws into it. He's running on the wall, and then he goes into the ceiling and jumps down, and punches Bakugo in the face, sending him flying. Deku decides to tease Bakugo, and when he explodes him, he growls a bit. Bakugo freezes, he's like, damn it Deku, that's cheating! And Deku says fine, and he growls again, releasing Bakugo from his hold, because Bakugo's part of the pack now. Deku has full control over him when he wants to. And Bakugo lets off an explosion, but Deku easily dodges it, and he goes, full cow, 5%! And when he kicks Bakugo, a gust of winds is behind him, sending him flying into the wall. And then he falls a bit off the shake. He says, Todoroki! Todoroki freezes the wall, stabilising the building. All Might's impressed. And then he's like, I've had enough of this. Todoroki, you hold off Bakugo. Full cow, 100%. And he flies past Bakugo. It almost seems like he's teleporting. And he appears in the room above. Chako's like, sorry Deku, I'm gonna have to stop you. She makes a bunch of rubble float and sends them towards Deku. Deku laughs and roars and they all go flying back. Then he teleports behind a chakra and wraps around in white tape. Then he's like, might as well. He grabs the rocket and then he moves insane speeds again and wraps up Bakugo. Everyone's impressed, and then All Might asks who was the MVP. And they all say, oh, it was Deku. Because, it was Suzuki Midoriya, as he caused little damage, and the damage he did cause his partner fixed. And he captured both villains and got the bomb. And then the rest do their test. It all goes the same. And then we have a bit of a training bit. Todoroki starts questioning Todoroki starts questioning Midoriya a bit more. But they leave it there. Okay, we're gonna have a small time skip to the villain invasion arc, the UA training center. When they arrive there, they meet 13. They get their explanation. This is where Deku senses something behind him. He's like, villains, and he lets out a happy growl. This is where something happens that unlike canon. When the villains walk out, Shigaraki's there. But then behind them is a female laugh. Toga walks out. Deku just gets a weird feeling from the portal guy, Shigaraki, and Toga, and he already knows he's probably going to need some of the back's help. He looks up and he just roars. Shigaraki's like trying to scare her off, and Deku says no. Scott and the rest of the pack bust through the ceiling, and they bow to Deku quickly, and then they look at the villains and growl. Shigaraki's a bit shocked, and he's like, "What's going on?" And Deku says, "This is my pack," and Bakugo appears and says, "Don't forget me, you idiot." And he says, "Sorry, Kachan." Scott, Kachan, let's go. They charge the villains, easily taking them out. The werewolves with the blue eyes are a bit cautious of where they strike, because they've all accidentally killed someone. Even Scott is. But Deku doesn't really care. He slices on them. He's a true alpha. Everything moves a bit slower for him. He can pinpoint exactly where he wants to strike. Then he hears a roar, nowhere near similar to his. He looks around and sees a Nomu. Then everyone comes up with a plan to get All Might. And they all tell Deku to go. Deku says, "No, I have to stay here. They just said that Nomu's on the strength to All Might, and we all know I'm the one closest here who is stronger as All Might. So leader should go. Leader should go." And they were like, true. So when leader tries to run out of the USJ building, and when villain tried to stop him, two pack members and not Derek and Scott chuck them out the way. And then Deku looks at the Nomu. He sees in the eyes that it's not human, it's not animal, it's nothing. And he roars at it. The only thing that Nomu relies on is instinct, and it can tell that Deku is the top dog, the true alpha, and it backs back a bit. Shigaraki's confused and he yells, "You stupid beast, attack it!" Deku growls again, and Nomu gets a bit scared and squalls. Shigaraki confused. How can that kid scare the Nomu? The thing that's stronger than All Might. Then Shigaraki presses a button, and a blue light flashes from Nomu's brain, and it just attacks Deku. Deku sees that it's mindless now, and he has to go up against it. When the punch gets thrown at Deku, Shigaraki thinks it's over, till Deku's punches par it. And Deku laughs and says, "This is going to be fun." They start going at each other using Meteor Crash from Xenoverse. And that's what it looks like, going at each other, like All Might and Nomu did. Then Kuroniri opens a portal underneath Deku. When he pops out, he gets a claw to one of his eyes. And he jumps back under, holding his eye, like, "Ugh!" And he appears next to Shigaraki. He's like, "That kid!" Then Deku uses 1 for all, 5%, and he starts overpowering the Nomu. But the Nomu's healing. And Shigaraki's like, "You can't beat it, kid. You might be strong and fast, but Nomu has healing." And then Deku lets the Nomu land destruction him, and Shigaraki's like, "What is he doing?" Then he sees Deku healing as well, and he roars. And then Shigaraki says, "Well, he has shock absorption." And Deku says, and what? I have claws. You can clearly see I'm damaging him. And then he keeps on punching. And then he says, fine, I'm bored of this. Full cow. 100%. And he punches Nomu hard and he goes flying. But Deku isn't done. He jumps up in the air and kicks Nomu back down. This is where All Might arrives and sees that Deku's taken on the Nomu. All Might attempts to go fight him, but he tells that the Nomu is equal to him. Then he realises that how far Deku is ahead of him. If Deku's easily able to fight this thing. Then he says, this is my true power. He roars. Full cow. 1000%. Deku's bones crack, but they heal. And he comes down with a sonic boom. He obliterates the Nomu's entire body with one punch. Toga's amazed by this. But then when she looks into Deku's red eyes, something reacts in her. She's like, it's the colour of blood. That's what she literally does. And when Shigaraki attempts to go attack him, Toga appears in front of Deku and blocks the attack. And Shigaraki just realised that Toga betrayed him. And she turns around to Deku and says, I've made a mistake my entire life, but after seeing you fight so purely, I've realised that this is my only chance at redemption. And then Shigaraki grabs her throat, decaying part of it, and she falls to the floor, slowly bleeding. And that slow bleed suddenly goes to a quick bleed, to a fast bleed, to an uncontrollable bleed. Deku looks down at her and he's mesmerised by how beautiful she is. Hey, you know where this is going. And he says, I believe that you're trying to get a second chance, and I'm going to give it to you. He grabs Toga's arm and bites it. Toga gasps. Her neck suddenly heals over. And her eyes flash yellow, bright yellow, and then they go blue. Deku realises this was inevitable. She's killed a bunch of people. But he's still made that promise about a second chance, and he's going to keep it. And then Todoroki runs over and sees that Deku's just helped Toga. Then he explains that he's given Toga a second chance. And no one can really stop him considering he's stronger than the #1 hero. And All Might will back him no matter what. And Todoroki laughs and says, yeah, sure. Shigaraki pops out of another portal and grabs Todoroki's side. Deku already knows what he has to do. He grabs Shigaraki's arm and just rips it off. Shigaraki screams in pain and says, you brat, I'm gonna kill you! Deku's hand stabs through Shigaraki's stomach and he rips it out. He's enraged. This man just killed one of his friends, who had a good future as well. Shigaraki barely escapes alive, as Kurogiri was healing him. Then he looks at Todoroki lying on the floor. They weren't never really that close, but they just had a connection. Todoroki didn't deserve to die this way. And then he thinks, I didn't think Toga deserved to die. And she didn't. He thinks, I'm so going to regret this, and bites Todoroki's arm. Todoroki's eyes flash yellow, and he comes up with a roar. Toga can't help but roar back, and they both realise that Deku just gave them another quirk. Or they think a quirk. And then he says, part of my quirk is to pass on another power. Basically, red eyes normally mean alpha. He just gives him a quick boost. But I'm a true alpha, meaning I outrank the alphas. This is a werewolf quirk. They have certain areas. And then there's beta alpha werewolves, and then there's omega werewolves. You two are beta werewolves, so you're just below the alpha. Anyway, we'll explain it later, but I'm kind of in charge of you now, but I won't abuse that, don't worry. And Toga laughs and says, I like being dominated. I can't believe I just said that, guys. I hate making Toga ship. And Deku blushes a bit. And then he gets his mind back in the game. And then he looks at other villains and he roars. This causes Todoroki and Toga to transform. And then he gives them a brief. Get them, don't kill them. Toga, and I mean don't kill them. And Toga says, fine. I'm a hero now anyway, aren't I? And Deku smiles and says, yep, as long as you're in my pack. And then Scott appears. He sees Toga and Todoroki says, oh, new pack members? And Deku says, yeah. He looks at Todoroki and Toga and says, "This is Scott. He's not a true alpha. He's a normal alpha. He's part of my pack, and so are the other werewolves. And Bakugo is as well, but he isn't a werewolf. I'll explain that later." And then they all go at the villains and cause them all to retreat. This is where Bakugo looks at Toga and Todoroki and just pouts a bit, saying, "He made a villain a werewolf. He made Icy Hot a werewolf. He won't make me a werewolf." And then Deku says they met their criteria. They were both dying. I didn't want them to die, so I saved them. Get over yourself. Maybe one time you die, I might make you a werewolf. And Bakugo just says, "Don't tempt me, stupid Deku." And he laughs in silly card-chan. Then All Might walks over and says, "You're a villain. You need to get questions, and you're getting in prison for a long time." Toga pouts a bit, and then Deku stands in front of her and says, "Sorry, All Might, she's getting another chance. I kinda bit her. She's a werewolf now, and she vowed to be a hero." And All Might says, "There's no way she'll follow that vow." And he just says, and Deku says, "Did you really forget what I told you? She's part of my pack. I'm her alpha. She has to listen whether she likes it or not. And she decides not to, I can control her by force." And he roars at Toga and she passes out. And All Might says, "We should get you to buy all villains. Then you'll have control over all of them." Deku looks at him and says, No. And yeah, guys, we're going to end it here. I told you I had a ship in mind. That might not be it. Toga might not be the ship. Who knows? And also, you also need pack members, so I gave you pack members. And I didn't say they're all going to be in this class, did I? And we even have a new class member. So if you guys did enjoy it, hit the like goal of 60 likes. I'm making them low because I actually love this Whatif. And for certain Whatifs that aren't like doing too good, that aren't like getting the things I expected them to, if they don't get what I expect them to twice, I'll put up a community post about if you want me to end them, because if I want my channel to grow, I need content that other people outside that subscribe to me will watch. So my channel will grow on its own without me begging people to share with their friends and family. And they're mainly my friends. So anyway, other than that, I hope you enjoyed. Peace out. Bye.